it's never motivated me. Regular season MVP has never motivated me. To be the best to ever play the game has motivated me and has resulted in me being able to be league MVP a couple times.
Let's get it going. Comment in the comments below if you think LeBron James should have been MVP, or if you think the MVP rightfully belongs to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Today was a very shocking day for me for many reasons. We heard Giannis speak about his future in Milwaukee. The Los Angeles Lakers look as good as they ever have. This Lakers team is a very special team. They are downright scary on both sides of the basketball. I thought the Lakers were a top 5 offense in the regular season, and they were for most of the season, but it seems like they finished just outside of the top 5 by maybe a point or so. I don't remember the exact number, but their defense is so good. It was good in the regular season, and it got even better to me in the playoffs. This is a devastating team that can play small or play big. Remember, the Houston Rockets were supposed to be the best current small ball team in the league. The Lakers made that series look like an absolute joke. They came out and lost game 1, but hey, it happens, and for whatever reason, it's a small trend. I think usually LeBron doesn't have the best game 1s. You can let me know if I am right or wrong down in the comments below. So again, man, we got a lot to cover this video. Before we go any further, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You will not want to miss another Get Like Coop video, and that's facts. Yesterday, I streamed with my homie De'Aaron Fox. The link to my Twitch will be in the description below. It would mean a lot if you guys could come out and show your support. Now, with that out of the way, we have to talk basketball. We have to talk LeBron James versus Giannis, and we have to talk about just how good LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and this Lakers team really are, with major emphasis on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The playoffs have been so brutal as a Pelicans fan. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing that. Oh, Coop's a Pelicans fan. Trust me, I'm tired of saying it, man. The Pelicans have been through some tough times. The Pelicans pass on Jamal Murray for Buddy Hield. The Pelicans also trade Anthony Davis, a generational talent, for maybe like 5? No, they don't even get 5. I think they get 3 first-round picks and a couple of pick swaps. Whatever they got, it was not enough considering what Paul George went for. And that's just my opinion. B.I. is a phenomenal player. Lonzo's got potential. Josh Hart's a solid player. And those picks can be anything. But as it looks, Anthony Davis is probably going to resign. Those picks might not be good that the Los Angeles Lakers gave the Pelicans. And as a Pelicans fan, I would say that's a little scary because you want those picks to be good. Those are major pieces to the trade, at least in my opinion. But at the same time, really, if you're picking anywhere in the first round, you normally feel pretty good. I mean, especially when they're extra picks. But man, Anthony Davis has looked absolutely unreal. Anthony Davis is simply a game wrecker. This guy's like a free safety that stunt doubles as an elite offensive player. I mean, this guy can absolutely do it all on the offensive end. We're talking about step back jumpers. We're talking about hook shots. We're talking about driving into the basket, giving the Nuggets fits under the basket. One of the top premier offensive rebounders in the league, especially when he really puts his mind to it. I mean, the guy is an absolute menace on the floor, and he's a matchup nightmare. You want to know why the Lakers small ball is so successful and was so successful against the Rockets? It's because Anthony Davis is 6'11", and he can play down or up. That is such a unique trait. And I mean, hey, maybe the guy's 7 foot. Who really knows these days with the NBA? You see, normally with a big, you're sacrificing something. If you're playing a defensive big, probably can't shoot the ball too well. So you're sacrificing shooting, you're sacrificing some offense, maybe some spacing. If you're playing a big that can shoot, a very talented offensive big, most of them aren't that good on defense. And if they're even competent on defense, then they're really lackluster in the screen and roll. Most bigs are very bad in the screen and roll. Not Anthony Davis, and also not Bam Adebayo. That's a matchup that I would absolutely love to see, AD versus Bam. Now guys, keep in mind, I'm referring to screen and roll defense. Don't go telling all your friends Coop said bigs are bad in screen and roll situations. I mean, when it comes to small ball, I told you guys, AD is small ball's worst nightmare. He's dominated prime Draymond Green. Not saying he's out of his prime, but when Draymond was playing defense at his peak, he's dominated him in the playoffs. And when you play the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, you're not just like, when you play Draymond in the playoffs, you're not just playing Draymond Green. You're playing that entire team. That team is such a cohesive unit on the defensive end of the basketball. Their help defense was absolutely absurd. And that's how also they were able to cover up a lot of Boogie's defensive deficiencies. Speaking so much of small ball, again, the Lakers are one of, if not the best big team in the NBA. Multiple 7-footers. Dwight is so talented. This guy should be a starting center somewhere. Decides to go revive his career in Los Angeles. JaVale McGee also can probably be a starter somewhere. And then you have this all-time great forward in LeBron James, who, in my opinion, I really feel like he should have been the MVP, but I feel both sides of it. I watched a segment from Colin Cowherd today. I don't normally watch this guy, so, you know, let me live on this one. I can't stress enough, I don't normally watch this guy, but I watched the segment and he said,
finally, LeBron's got in his career 3 MVPs. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Oh, my bad, 4. He should have 11. The NBA media has tried to convince me his run is over.
MVP should be MIS, and I really understood where he was coming from. Also, he said LeBron should be the MVP, and it's not close. Now, what MIS stands for Colin Cowherd is most impressive story. And so many times we've seen the MVP go to the most impressive story. And I can't stress how annoying and how infuriating that is, because I think it should go to the most valuable player. Now, somebody in the comment section of Cowherd's video said that MIS should stand for most impressive stats. And that's what I feel like Giannis really won. I feel like he won the MIS award, the most impressive stats, because I don't think he was the most valuable player to his team. I think he's very valuable, and the Bucks don't get to where they are without Giannis, without a doubt. I called Giannis in my video earlier a top 2, top 3 player in the league. I meant that. Fantastic player. But if you take LeBron James off of this Lakers team, I am not entirely sure how good this team would be. Let me know down in the comments if you feel like the Lakers would miss or make the playoffs without LeBron James. So often during the season, we assumed the Lakers would need a secondary playmaker to take some of the load off of LeBron. Because when LeBron would be out for stretches, sometimes the offense simply would not click. Now again, you can disagree with me, just be respectful and don't hate the video because you disagree with my opinion. See what I'm saying right there? That's opinion. You can have those on YouTube, you can have those in life. It's just opinion. So I don't want anybody to get offended or take what I'm saying personal, especially Bucks fans, because we all love the game of basketball. And at the end of the day, we're all watching to be entertained, and we're all watching again for the love of the game. Now, the co-host of the LFR pod on Twitter had a very good tweet and a very good point. He said Giannis is a worthy MVP winner based on the numbers, team success, and leadership. My thing though is that the gap between what makes you successful in the regular season versus the playoffs is larger than ever. For players and or teams, it distorts the value part of this award. This is why high-level versatility, both at the player and team level, is the most important factor when thinking about roster construction and team building. I definitely would recommend checking out his Twitter. I checked out an article that he wrote, and he made some good points about LeBron James picking up steam in the playoffs, taking things to another level. We know playoff Bron. This Lakers team has been playing great, and it starts with Bron. When Bron is able to facilitate and make his team better, like he does, the Lakers are an unbeatable team. It's so crazy to me. Bron's one of the best scorers of all time, one of the best passers, and he's still the athletic monster that he is at the age of 35 years old. LeBron in the playoffs has been taking over basketball games. Nobody, not one team that we have seen yet has had an answer for LeBron James. We've seen the doubles, they don't work. He's too good of a passer. And man, you really don't want the Lakers, they're just such a good team, man. You don't want them to go small, because then the spacing is ridiculous. Then LeBron's going to give you 50, and if you're doubling, he's going to find the open guy with ease. You don't want the Lakers to play big because they're so physically imposing. Do you think if LeBron traded places with Giannis, that he would be able to take that team to a championship or at least the NBA Finals? Again, when you look at the stats of Giannis, they're absolutely unreal. 29.5 points per game, 13.6 boards, 5.6 assists, defensive player of the year. You could argue that could have went to AD. He was asked to do pretty much everything for this Bucks team. He did this in 30.4 minutes per game. His per 36 is even more ridiculous. I can easily see why Giannis was voted MVP. And of course, me loving two-way players, again, I got to give Giannis his props. He came out and did his thing. But man, LeBron James on a new team, a whole bunch of new players coming in, and I know it's his second year, but a whole bunch of new players coming in, a whole lot of moving parts. I just think what he did this season was special. Oh, and I almost forgot. Y'all messed around and made LeBron mad. Nobody wants to see a mad LeBron. If you're wondering what I'm talking about,
it pissed me off because out of 101 votes, I got 16 first place votes. That's what pissed me off more than anything. You know, not saying that the winner wasn't deserving of the MVP.
Yeah, while LeBron doesn't go crazy for regular season MVPs, he's not crazy about disrespect. 16 votes for a top 3 player of all time who's still the best player in the game. I think he has a right to be mad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, if you guys want, I will drop a comparison stat-wise on Giannis versus Bron tomorrow. It would be like a full breakdown. I would work on it tonight and get it to you guys fast as possible. Now, again, guys, I understand Giannis winning the MVP and people saying it's a regular season award, because what Giannis did in the regular season was just like, again, we just talked about it, absolutely legendary. But I mean, at the same time, like, I feel like James Harden and, you know, maybe even Russ to an extent have been robbed of some MVP awards. I definitely think Harden should have more. I kind of just threw Russ in there. I haven't like looked into Russ's as much, but I definitely think Harden should have more. That's my opinion. Again, my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of everything down in the comments below.
I finished second a lot in my career, either from a championship and now 4 times as the MVP.
Click the video on the screen right now. Be sure to subscribe. I'm GetLikeCOOP, guys. And I'm out.